I didn't think I'd be this nervous. What if I didn't make the team?
You were better than most of the boys at tryouts. There's no way you didn't make it.
A lot of things make me happy. I would consider myself a very happy person.
Is it okay if I get off this flight? I no longer need to go to Oakland.
I'm sorry, but the doors have already been closed.
Hi.
Hi, Callie, how are you today?
How are you?
Fine. Thank you so much. How's your Thursday so far?
It's been pretty good. What about you?
It's sunny here in Mexico City.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's just starting to warm up here in LA. It's so nice.
Wow. And what plans do you have for today?
Well, my mom is coming to visit, so I'm picking her up at the airport right after this. I've spent today mostly just like grocery shopping and doing homework and chores. Really
Okay, perfect.
annoying.
Yes, I know.
Well, acting really came about like later in my life. It was really random. Growing up, I was super into sports. I was super into academics. I was super into basically anything except the arts. So, it was really random. I was picking a new high school to go to for my junior year, 11th grade, and I just decided to go to an art school on a whim, and I decided to be a theater major because that's like what most people were, and I thought maybe I would want to act. And I didn't even make it through the full semester because I just didn't like theater. But I switched to film production, and I did that. I learned to make films and direct and everything behind the scenes. But because of COVID, everything was locked down. We couldn't have actors. We all had to act in each other's films, and I figured out I just really like film acting. Theater wasn't my thing, but on-camera acting is, and I just went from there. I mean, I feel like the easiest part of acting is actually acting. You know, once you show up on set, you already have the job. It's super easy and it's super fun. It's just, I feel like it's a very natural thing. It's, you know, I feel like the difficult part is auditioning and just, you know, for every 10 or 20 auditions, you might land one of those roles. And it can get exhausting and like discouraging to audition for so many different parts and never hear back. And acting in an audition is just so different because there's nobody actually, you know, to play off of. You have your reader, but it's just, you know, you're not really in the moment, and it's just so much harder to like manufacture those emotions in that setting. So definitely auditioning. The process for auditioning, it depends on whether or not it's voiceover on camera or a commercial versus like a TV show or a movie. The first thing I do is read through as much of the script as is available. Sometimes it's just the sides, like what you're actually going to be auditioning with. If you get really lucky, you get the entire script. Or I had one recently that was based on a book, but due the next day. So I read the entire book that day.
Wow.
As much as you can get, you know, it's so helpful. I've always loved psychology. Psychology is my minor right now in college.
Okay.
And so I feel like the more of just like a sample or an idea you can get of a character's behavior, the better you're going to know them, the more you're going to understand like why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay.
So yeah, I really try to do everything I can to understand the character, understand why what's happening in the scene is happening. And if you can get a good enough grasp on the context, like I feel like you don't really have to comb through the scene and like try to figure out, you know, like what face am I going to make or whatever. Like if you understand what's going on, it really just comes naturally.
Okay.
I think the crazy thing about being an actor is that there's really, your schedule's kind of all over the map. You don't really have like a regular day. If you're on set, you're gonna wake up really early probably, and go and get your hair and makeup and your wardrobe done. You'll probably run through your lines with the cast and with the director. Then you'll block everything out, they'll light everything, they'll film it, and then, you know, rinse and repeat. And if it's a set day, I just, for some reason, I have so much energy on set, and as soon as I get home, it's just like, even if it's 4 p.m. But the days off of set, you know, that's when you're catching up on the boring stuff, chores, homework. I'm in college, so I take my classes online.
Okay.
Yeah, the boring stuff. I try not to read the comments because it like stresses me out, but I'm very glad to know that they're positive. Thank you for saying that. Dhar Mann, I did my very first Dhar Mann video in August of 2022. It was just a regular audition through, I think, my manager. And the amazing thing about Dhar Mann is if they like you in one episode, you really only have to audition once and they'll just email you and ask you if you're free. So it's awesome, and it's so great because you get to play all these different characters, and the casting directors are just so nice, and they're willing to use their imagination and put you in roles that are very different than the ones they've seen you in before. So yeah, I've just been lucky enough to keep being brought back since that first one. It's really awesome. I mean, I know Dhar like started doing those videos back in, I think 2018, just like out of his apartment with just like him and Ruben. I mean, hey, if you invest yourself in it, you could be the Mexican Dhar Mann.
Oh, okay. Sounds like an interesting milestone. I will try to see that in a near future. Do you have in specific that is the coolest, the funniest, or your favorite?
That's such a good question. I really enjoyed in the Stranger Things episode of Dhar Mann, there was one nightmare sequence where my best friend Kiana played this character named Lizzie, and I was supposed to be like a demon haunting her nightmares, and they did like full body like horror makeup and like black veins all over, and it was
okay.
I think one of the longest days I've ever filmed. I got there at 9 in the morning and we left at like 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
But it was so much fun, and I've never gotten to do horror makeup like that otherwise, so I think I'm gonna have to say that.
What's your experience after filming a project? How did you feel? How did you deal with these kind of feelings? Because I previously interviewed another actress, and she said to me it is some kind of depression after filming. It's something like that. Is it true?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely bittersweet. It takes up so much of your time, and you get so close to the cast and the crew so fast that it's just like, you know, it's strangers to family, and then all of a sudden you move on to other things and you're not really going to see each other again. It kind of reminds me of like going to summer camp growing up.
Okay,
but,
yes.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard sometimes missing your friends and looking back on certain scenes just like, oh, I know I could have done better in that. And
okay.
There's some things where it's like, oh, I killed that, I can't wait to see it. There's some things where it's like,
okay.
I don't even know if I can watch this because of that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's always exciting to see how it'll turn out. I love crime shows. I would love to work on something like, I don't know if they're doing another season of the Criminal Minds reboot, but if they do, I would love to do that, or something like in the vein of like Law and Order or whatever. I'm a pre-law major right now, so I feel like
Okay, yes, that's a really interesting idea. You will see, you will get that in the near future, you will see.
I really hope so.
Okay, and now if you like, we'd love to play retrospective. I took into consideration your information in Internet Movie Database. I'm going to mention a couple of your projects, and you're gonna tell me a cool experience or the funniest experience during each one of the projects.
Okay.
Starting with Love Poem to a Dead Bird. It's a short film, isn't it?
Yeah, you dug deep for that one. the first film I ever directed. That was my senior capstone film in high school.
Wow.
And that was also the very first thing I ever acted in.
Okay.
I didn't write it. The girl who starred in it with me was actually the one who wrote it.
Okay.
And I thought she did a great job with it. She's a great writer and she's very creative. I definitely never would have come up with that idea on my own at all. It was about Sylvia Plath, the poet, in her teenage years, like a fictionalized like story that she'd come up with. I thought it turned out really well. Definitely the funniest part about that was that we needed a rain machine for the last like big scene, and it was very important and very central to the story that it had to be raining. But this is high school film school. They told us we could do the rain, and then like the day before we shot it, they told us we couldn't do the rain and they wouldn't help us. So I had to go out to the hardware store with my little 17-year-old self and figure out how to build a rain machine that wouldn't ruin our film equipment and would work for hours on end. And build it behind their backs like overnight. And we got in huge trouble. They were so mad at us.
Wow.
But we graduated like 2 weeks later, and it was totally worth it, and it turned out so cool. We were freezing though. It was absolutely freezing, and we were just like in shorts and t-shirts, like shivering, like trying to speak.
Wow.
It was a good time. I had a great time on that set.
Chasing Charlie, it's TV series, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually an offshoot of Dhar Mann. So recently they've been doing their own like mini series things. And Chasing Charlie is Neela's series. She plays Charlie. And I've had a lot of fun in that. It's Neela and Kiana who play the two like nice girls, the protagonists. And I play the mean girl who bullies them, like I usually do. But it's a good time. There's a lot of like girls our age on set, and it's not always like that on set, so it's really nice to just like have friends, hang out. It's always a good time when we get to film.
And finally, Novena. Is it said like that? Novena?
Yeah.
Another short film?
Yeah, that was another one of the very first projects I ever did. It was a student film back home in Nashville, which is where I grew up, Nashville, Tennessee. And it was also a period piece, so that one took place in the 1960s. So that was very interesting. When I look back on it, I've done a lot of things that take place in like the early to mid 1900s, which was always so cool because you get to like all the old-timey props and costumes. It's just so much fun.
Yes.
The old-timey dialogue can be tricky though. Sometimes you feel weird saying it.
Yes.
But yeah, that one was fun. It was about a girl named Sally who was Catholic and who decided she was like 13, but she like decided she like needed a husband ASAP, and she enlisted her friend to help her do all these crazy things to try to like woo this boy next door, and it was very funny. Well, I've definitely had more chances to act than direct, so you know, I've had a broader range of experiences. Acting and directing at the same time is not something I would recommend to anyone, especially your first time doing both. So I feel like my directing experience might have been a little tainted by stress and trying to spread myself too thin. I did enjoy it though. Again, it kind of centers around like psychology and trying to find ways to effectively communicate with your actors. And I think those things are really interesting. So I think maybe I'd like to direct again if it wasn't something I was acting in. Acting, I know I love because I do it all the time. Yeah, when you can understand like the director's, you know, position and like where they're coming from and what they're thinking when they're saying certain things to you, like I feel like you get better at understanding as an actor what exactly they need from you. I feel like majoring in film in general and learning everything that goes on behind the scenes, it helps me in little ways I don't think about. Like I know how to use my mic, and I know certain issues with lighting that people might not think about, just your continuity. I know how to pay attention to that for myself. Those things really help move the shoot along smoother.
Wow, excellent answer. Thank you so much, Callie. And we would also love to play Quickies by Madison. Kind of hot takes. You have to choose between two options.
Okay.
Okay. And if you like, we would love to start with Emma Stone versus Margot Robbie.
Emma Stone.
Okay. And do you usually watch your performance? Do you watch your own episodes or your own acting?
I try to, because I think I should, because I need to learn from the things I did. But it is borderline painful to watch yourself on camera, so I don't always do it.
Well, yes, because I believe it is really common for actors not to watch themselves on screen. It is so common.
Yeah, it really is. You know, like when you hear your voice on a video and you just think, oh, there's no way I sound like that. No. It's like that, but a million times worse if you're acting.
Wow.
Your face,
wow,
everything. It's like, why am I standing like that? Why did I make that face? Why do I sound like that? Terrible.
Wow. Okay, perfect answer. Thank you. And really fun. Another one, comedy versus thriller.
Ooh, thriller. I love crime shows and horror movies, everything like that. If I have to watch something, it will be crime something.
Okay. And and another one, to play a good girl versus to play a villain.
Villain. So much more fun.
Wow. Okay. Have you played more villains than good ones?
Yes, very much so.
Wow. That's really amazing. That's awesome. Another one. What would you consider has been your biggest accomplishment so far?
Like in acting or in life?
Acting.
In acting? I have started dubbing recently, so like dubbing foreign shows into English.
Wow.
And none of those shows or movies have come out yet, but I'm very excited for when they do, because I got to do like series regular roles on like big streaming services, and so I'm very excited for when I can show those to people. That was like the first voiceover I ever did too, and so that was nerve-wracking, but I realized I really, really love voiceover from that.
What's your biggest fear?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I shouldn't say it, because what if people use it against me? What if they're like, think it's funny to prank me or something?
It can be spiders.
Maybe not my biggest fear, because I don't want to give people that, but one of my really random fears is I'm really scared of like voids, like space, or like the really deep ocean. I just like the idea of just like falling infinitely through it. Like it's weird, because I've always loved space and it never bothered me when I was younger. Then I just woke up one day and the idea of the fact that the Earth's just falling through space just like made my stomach turn, and I can't even like look at, you know, when you're on Google Earth and it like zooms out to go to another place and you can see the whole, I can't even look at that even though it's animated. I'm like, so random.
What makes you laugh the most?
Makes me laugh the most? I don't know. My siblings, probably. My little brother is just...
Wow.
He likes to think he's like a very serious macho man, which makes it even funnier that he's just not.
Okay, yes, family. Okay. And another one, which superpower would you love to have?
Oh my gosh, I'd love to be able to teleport. It would like save so much time out of my day with LA traffic.
Do you have a favorite place in the US inside?
I don't know if I do. I've visited a lot of places that I really like. I mean, LA is cool. It can be kind of gross at times. Nashville's cool. You know,
Okay.
I lived in Nashville for the first like 14 years of my life, so it's
Okay.
definitely the city I know the best.
Mhm.
Idlewild, where I went to high school, is a cute little mountain town out by Palm Springs. Maybe that'll be my answer because
Okay.
it's like a tiny little town. The school is like half the population. It's so like cute and rustic, and the mayor is a dog, like an actual dog, because
Wow.
there's not enough people for there to be a need for any real government, so they just decided it could be a dog.
Wow.
Yeah, so I love that place. I visit all the time, even though I graduated.
Wow. And do you have a favorite place outside you would love to visit or you visited already?
Oh my gosh. We visited Australia last year, and it
Wow.
was so cool. The beaches were so beautiful. The weather was so nice. I also visited Italy last year, and I just thought, like, especially in Rome, getting to see, you know, like in the US and like, you know, most of North America, there's not really anything to see that's more than a few centuries old. But like, you get to go to Italy and you get to see things that are thousands and thousands of years old, and they're just like on the
Okay.
side of the street. Like, I thought that was the craziest thing. Like, people have been here for like ever. It's crazy. So many. And then there's also like, you know, do you pick your favorite celebrity and make your friends who are actors mad?
Okay, okay. And did you have a favorite quote?
A favorite quote. I really love the quote. It's from Winnie the Pooh. How lucky am I to have had something that makes saying goodbye so hard? I moved a lot in high school, and it was there were a lot of hard goodbyes there, but I think that quote really helped put things into perspective for me. You know,
Wow.
I was so lucky to have met so many different people and experienced so many different things, lived in so many different places, and to have had such positive experiences in all of those places. So even though it's sad to say goodbye,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
glad it
Next
happened.
Do you have a favorite song right now?
Oh my gosh. Favorite song. My favorite song changes like every few days.
Okay.
I'm a CD collector, so I just like I listen to all my CDs, and I just move on to a new favorite every few days. I think my top favorites right now, I've had Breathe by Anna Nalick on repeat, which is, I was about to say it's old. It's not actually old, but I think it's older than I am. And what's the other song I've had on repeat? How am I forgetting? I've had a lot of Dixie Chicks songs on repeat. So and Michelle Branch.
Wow.
A lot of that right now.
Okay, excellent answer. And do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Like I said, I'm kind of terrible about watching movies, honestly. I babysit a 2-year-old, so a lot of the movies I watch are for 2-year-olds. But we've been watching a lot of Frozen lately, and I love the music from that movie, even though it's for 2-year-old.
Which kind of message would you love to give to your past self if you have the opportunity?
Oh, that's such a good question. I don't know. Maybe just like a very general, like, everything's gonna work out. I feel like there have been a lot of points in my life where it's just, you know, I'm 19 now and there's just so much that's unknown. You don't know how your life is gonna unfold. you know, especially in acting, that's an industry that's like so many unknowns. But I had a lot of anxiety about that when I was younger, but I think now I've just come to a point where I've realized, you know, like I'm a competent and capable person, and even if things don't work out exactly the way I envisioned them or exactly the way I think I want them to work out right now, they're going to end up working out in a way that I will be happy with in the future, even if it's not what I expected.
How long does the production takes to film an episode? Because they are like 10 to 15 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, there are some. I think the longest episode we did was 30 minutes, and we did 9 days of filming for that.
Wow.
Some of the episodes, I think the shortest Dhar Mann shoot for a full episode was 2 days. There was one we did, and it was only on a plane the entire time, so it didn't take as long because we never had to move. But we also do shorts now. It's like a new thing where there's like little videos that go on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, and that's just like a Saturday afternoon. Hi, Madison community. My name's Callie Walker. You might know me from Dhar Mann. It's been so great getting to talk to you. Go check out Madison Magazine's page and check out my interview on YouTube.
Wow, thanks so much, and hope you're having an amazing day, Callie.
You too.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Nice talking to you. Bye.
Bye.